Hey there guys, how's it going? Angel of the Night here. We are going back to class and picking a new teacher there today. So, in the last episode, we ended up finishing up Mr. Jacques' class and taking our final exam. Today, we are going to jump into the math one. You like math with Miss Tyme? Now, math is not my strong suit. I don't care if it's in school or if it's in a game school or what. Math is not my expertise, so if I get something wrong, I'm going to be pretty embarrassed. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name's Tyme, and I will be your math teacher. Sorry to put you all on the spot at the start of class, but let me ask you a quick question. Do you enjoy numbers, arithmetic, and the like? No. Oh my. Thank you for your honest responses. Some of you may like numbers, and some may not. I think that makes a wonderful mix. But no matter your opinion on math, I hope you find yourselves enjoying our lessons together. I'll do my best to find a good way to match up your interest with all types of math lessons. Speaking of which, are you all caught up on your studies of Pokemon type matchups? For example, grass is strong against water, and water is strong against fire, correct? Corey, you seem to be good with Pokemon, so let me ask you this. Bearing in mind that water is strong against fire, if the move Water Gun hits a fire-type Pokemon, what becomes of the move's damage? It's doubled. That's right. I knew I could count on you for this question, Corey. Using moves of a type that your opponent is weak to is super effective tactic. It multiplies the damage and those moves by 2. On the other hand, using moves of a type that your opponent is resisted to isn't very effective. It divides the damage of your moves by 2. I don't mean to encroach on Miss Dendra's battle studies territory, of course, but I thought it's best to use a lively topic as an example. That can make math fun for those of you who don't much like the subject, don't you think? Oh my, is that the bell? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I hope you're looking forward to it too. Not at all. Not looking forward to it at all. Good evening, Master Corey. What class would you like to take? Let's go to math class number 2. Don't be tardy, it says. Don't be tardy. Well, I've never been late for class before, nor have I been late for really anything before. Hello, everyone. Let's have a fun class today. Tell me, do you all enjoy shopping? Buying tasty bread or choosing new clothes, even just window shopping is so much fun. In today's class, I'd like to use shopping, one of my favorite hobbies, mind you, to teach you all about math. I'm sure everyone here has visited a Pokemart at least once. They sell all sorts of items. Pokeballs are one of the many useful items you can find there. They cost 200 Pokédollars each. Now then, I'd like you all to do some thinking with me here. One Pokeball is 200. If you had $2,000 and bought as many Pokeballs as you could afford, 2,000 and they're 200. How many would you receive? 10? Oh dear, I'm sorry. Corey, I suppose it was a bit of a trick question. With 2,000, you can afford to purchase a maximum of 10 Pokeballs. See, this isn't going to go well. However, if you purchase 10 or more of any one type of Pokeball, you will also receive one Premier Ball, a special white ball as a bonus. So the correct answer is in fact 11. Wow. So 200, and how many can you get? You can get $2,000 worth of it, so that's 10 balls, which I was right, 10 balls for $2,000. But I think I selected $2,000. But throwing in the premier ball as the additional to make it 11 is BS. You can see exactly how this is going to go. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I hope you're looking forward to it too. I'm not looking forward to it. This is ridiculous. But I need to do it in order to get them to Blueberry Academy. So, good evening, Master Corey. What class would you like to take? Let's go to Math number 3. Hello, everyone. Let's have a fun class today. Tell me, do you all enjoy fortune telling, horoscopes, and the like? I think it feels great to read your horoscope and see it says good luck is coming your way. So today, I'd like to teach you all math while focusing on the topic of luck. Perhaps you have seen the following phrase crop up during Pokemon battles before. A critical hit. When a Pokemon's attack lands a critical hit, the damage it deals is increased by half. In other words, it does 1.5 times as much damage as it normally would. It is truly luck that determines whether your Pokemon lands a critical hit, or has one landed on it. This can cause a great upset in battle. Does anyone know what percent chance a Pokemon has of landing a critical hit? I have absolutely no idea. I want to say like 4%, because critical hits seem to happen a lot more. I'm going to go 4 out of 100. That is correct. Well done, Corey. It was a fluke, guys, I swear. The chance of landing a critical hit is said to be 1 in 24, which figures out roughly 4.17%. The odds are more favorable for certain moves, though. Why? Moves such as Stone Edge and Shadow Claw have about a 12% chance. You can also use a move called Focus Energy, or an item known as Dire Hit. Both raise a critical hit ratio by 2 stages. That's a 50% chance of landing a critical hit. It feels great to land a critical hit, but perhaps not so great to be struck by one. There is a surprising amount of mathematical probability hidden in Pokemon battles, you know. If you're able to do the calculations, that'll swing luck in your favor. It may open the door for more strategic choices for you during battle. I can't read today, guys. I apologize. Oh my, is that the bell? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. Next class will be fun. Next class will be our fun midterm exam. I hope you'll all be looking forward to it. Good evening, Master Corey. What class would you like to take? Let's go for the math midterm. You'd like math with Miss Tyme? Yep. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. They say that every time, but yet I'm always early. All right, everyone. It's time to begin our midterm exam. I'm sure the fun experiences you all had in my class will serve you well as your answer. How much damage does Water Gun do when it hits a fire type? Well, that's C for double damage. How much damage does Razor Leaf do when it hits a fire type Pokemon? This is half damage. If you spent 2,000 on as many 200 Pokeballs as possible, how many do you get? Oh my gosh, that is C. What % chance does a Pokemon usually have to land a critical hit? That is B. How much damage does a move deal when it lands a critical hit? 1.5 times as much. All right, everyone, time's up. Put your hands on your laps now. You were all concentrating so hard, I can't wait to see how you did. Do go and ask for your scores at the front desk and then take a nice break. It feels great to get a test out of the way, doesn't it? Let's take a look at your results. You must get 3 questions correct to pass the midterm exams, and 4 correct to pass the final exams. Let's see how you did on your math test. You answered 5 out of 5 questions correctly. That's a passing score. Congratulations! Miss Tyme asked us to give this reward to any student who passes the exam. You obtained 5 experience candies. You put the experience candies in the bag's other items pocket. Keep doing your best. Hello, everyone. Well done on the midterm exam. Some of you earned perfect scores, and others seem to have a bit of trouble, but I can tell that you all tried your best. I am quite pleased to say that every last one of you passed. I can only assume that this means you have all come to love numbers. Oh, there's Nimona up there in the front part of the class. Stay sharp and try your best for the rest of my classes too. Speaking of staying sharp, do you know how that word applies to Pokemon battles? That's right, it has to do with stat boosts. A Pokemon stat can rise and fall throughout the course of battle, correct? For example, if a Pokemon uses the move Work Up, its attack and special attack stats will rise by 1 stage each. And, as you may know, each time a Pokemon's attack or special attack rises 1 stage, moves affected by that stat will deal 50% more damage. If that same Pokemon from our previous example were to use Work Up again, both its attack and special attack will have risen by 2 stages. This result is a 100% increase to damage dealt, making its moves twice as strong. Sword Dance, on the other hand, boosts attack by 2 stages at once, allowing the Pokemon to deal double damage after just a single use. Using Sword Dance twice would boost the Pokemon's attack stat by 4 stages. How much more damage, then, would this Pokemon deal? That's quadruple? Ah, yes, this question is a tricky one, isn't it? I obviously got it wrong. Just because it boosts the Pokemon stat by 4 stages doesn't mean it's quadrupled. Each stat that a Pokemon's attack or special attack stat is raised during its damage by 50%. So being raised by 4 stages would result in 4 times 50% or 200% increase. Oh, this is embarrassing. The base damage of a move is 100%, so adding 200% to that gives us 300%. Okay. In other words, the next move the Pokemon uses will deal triple damage. Type matchups, critical hit damage, and other factors all play in those calculations as well, so even a small boost must be taken seriously. By the way, if a stat simply rose, that means it has gone up by 1 stage. If it rose sharply, that's 2 stages. And if it rose drastically, that's 3 stages. Just so you know, the X attack and X special attack items, which can only be used in battle, can be used to sharply boost those respective stats. Ah, what a shame. Today's lesson was a little difficult, so be sure to review. Today's lesson was a little difficult, so be sure to review what you learned in order to stay sharp. I'll see you all again next class. See guys, math and I are not friends. We have never been friends, nor do I like to associate with math. But I think it's a play on words that gets me. Sure, let's go back to math class. Now remember, for the final exam, I have to have 4 out of 5. Now remember, in the final exam, I need to have 4 out of 5 questions correct. Hello everyone, let's have a fun class today. Did you make sure to review last class's material in order to stay sharp? I know it was a little difficult with all the talk of multiplication and percentages and the like, but today we'll be talking about percentages again to learn about probability. That may sound like we're going to have another difficult class, but did you know that all of you already deal with probability on a regular basis? Pokemon moves generally have a property called accuracy, which determines the probability that they will hit. The accuracy of tackle is 100%. So if you use tackle 100 times, you could expect it to hit all 100 times. The move hypnosis, which cuts the opponent's sleep, has an accuracy. Did I say that right? The move hypnosis, which puts opponents to sleep, has an accuracy of 60 or 60%. That means you could expect it to hit 60 times in 100 uses. To put that another way, out of 100 uses, you could expect it to miss 40 times. Many of the truly powerful moves often tend to have lower accuracy, so when you're deciding whether to go slow and steady with moves that are sure to hit, or hard and fast with stronger but less accurate moves, you're already studying probability. Let me see here. Perhaps Surf and Hydro Pump would be a good example of this discussion. Surf has a power of 90. Its accuracy is 100, meaning you can expect it to hit every time. Hydro Pump's accuracy is only 80, which means it hits its power. No, Hydro Pump's accuracy is only 80, but when it hits, its power is 110. So between Surf and Hydro Pump, which move would you want to use yourself? Oh my, I see it's slow and steady wins the race for you, Corey. I may have made it sound like there was a correct answer here, but there is not. You're free to use any moves you wish. Factors like PP or number of targets hit may make some moves more suited in certain situations. However, trading accuracy for power or vice versa is purely a matter of preference. This Surf versus Hydro Pump debate has been ongoing for quite some time. Personally, I'm more invested in debating the rock-type moves Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Let me tell you, I could get really worked up talking about those moves, but oh my, there's the bell. What a shame. Next class will be the last of our time together, so show up 100% ready to go. Good morning, Master Corey. What class would you like to take? Hello everyone. I hope we can have fun once again today for our last class together. Last time we learned about probability using move accuracy as an example. Probability is quite an interesting subject. Did you know that in a class with 40 students, there is a 90% chance that 2 of them will have the same birthday? This is true even despite the fact that there are over 300 days each year. Isn't that remarkable? But let's move on to today's topic before we get swept along with probability again. I've been teaching you all how to calculate damage in this class using examples like matchups, critical hits, stat boosts, and the like. All of these variables are multiplied together to calculate damage dealt to an opponent. However, did you know there is an even simpler way to increase the damage of your Pokemon's moves? All you have to do is have your Pokemon use a move it shares a type with. If a Rock-type Pokemon uses a Rock-type move, Stone Edge, the move's base power of 100 is multiplied by 1.5 to become 150. Ground and Rock may seem like similar types, but if a Ground-type Pokemon uses Stone Edge, the move's power will remain at 100. Super effective moves and critical hits also add multipliers to this little numerical increase, so it most certainly must not be taken lightly. Let me ask you a question to see if you understand what I'm talking about here. Say you have a move with a power of 100. If a Pokemon that shares the type with this move uses it and hits the opponent that is weak to that type, what happens to that move's power? I think it's 200? No. So if it's 100 and it's the same type as the Pokemon, it goes to 150. But if it hits a Pokemon that is weak to that type, it then goes by 2, which would mean that it would go to 300. You did that calculation all in your head? Well done, Corey. Yes, I did do it in my head. First, use a move that shares a type with its user multiplies the move base power of 100 by 1.5, making the power 150. The fact that the opponent is weak to the move's type then doubles the power from 150 to 300. The original power of the move ends up being tripled. Isn't that amazing? What's more, if a Pokemon terrestrializes and its Terra type matches one of its original types, then the bonus it gets from using a move of that same type increases from 1.5 to 2. Of course, being able to use a lot of moves with different types is great as well. That's one way you can surprise your opponent. In the end, your own innate characteristics are what will really let you shine the most. Bear in mind that this is true for both humans and Pokemon. It sure would make me happy if you could take those words to heart, but I suppose I should really have shared this basic advice right from our first lesson. My apologies. And just like that, class is over. The last of our time together flew by in a blink of an eye. It was so much fun to be able to teach all you eager students about numbers. Next class will be our final exam. Be sure to review the material well in preparation. So, when I do Pokemon battles, when I battle, I don't really do a bunch of calculations. I don't think of it like math. All I know is that if I do Swords Dance, it boosts up by a certain amount, and so on and so forth. So, yes, I know certain calculations, but I'm not really sitting there calculating, okay, 300 and this and that, it does this much damage. I don't think like that. The biggest thing with me is I look at the actual progress bars in their HP, and I remember how much damage a certain move does. So when I'm battling, if I go for Stone Edge, for example, against a certain Pokemon, or a certain type of Pokemon, I know how much damage that's going to do. So I kind of gauge, am I going to be able to do this damage again the next turn to be able to take it out? And that's how I vary my attacks when I'm doing my battles. I don't calculate. Pokemon trainers like Wolf Glick and other players, they definitely do the math calculations in their head for sure. But this fella here, I'm not a math guy. I don't like math. I don't enjoy math. And my brain doesn't really process it right, as you guys can see throughout this video. Not a big fan. But if you guys understand math, give a big old thumbs up for me trying here. Alright, everyone, it's time to begin our final exam. I'm sure the fun experiences you all had in my class will serve you well as your answer. How many Great Balls can you purchase with 3,000 if each one costs 600? 5. If a Water-type Pokemon with a power of 100 lands a critical hit on a Grass-type Pokemon, what will be the move's power? 75. Under normal conditions, what % chance does Stone Edge have to land a critical hit? %. If a Pokemon uses Swords Dance twice to boost its attack by 4 stages, how much damage will its physical moves then do? B. Triple damage. If a Rock-type Pokemon whose Terra type is Rock terrestrializes, what will the power of its Rock-type move be multiplied by? 2. Alright everyone, time's up. Put your hands on your laps now. This test was a oh my gosh. This test was a culmination of all I taught you, and I'm sure you all did just fine. Do go and ask for your scores at the front desk, and then take a nice break. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. I looked up the answers to that test. I took a pen and wrote it on my arm, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of math. I'm just going to skip. So you need to get at least 4 questions right out of 5 in order to pass. Okay, so we got 5. What a surprise. Don't tell Miss Tyme that I wrote the answers down. I found a copy of the exam, and I wrote the answers down. Okay, that's the end of this episode. So hopefully this was somewhat enjoyable there for you, if not informative. The biggest thing with these quests or these questions is that you want to befriend your teacher, get the actual class done, because you're going to be able to invite these trainers to Blueberry Academy and have them go into the clubhouse. And then you're going to be able to battle these players and then eventually do trades with these players. So the big thing here is that we have to complete all the classes in order to get them over to Blueberry's clubhouse. So that's what we're doing here. I don't feel bad for cheating on this one. My brain does not process things the same way as some people's, so those kind of questions really tend to mess me up, and I'm definitely embarrassed, but you know what? You guys got the answers now. So hopefully you guys will stick around to see the next episode. We will go into another classroom and try to complete it from start to finish. So take care, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.